voice17104.com. This is Zanetta Wingfield, and you're listening to The Voice17104.com. The Voice17104.com.
Welcome. I almost, not quite, but I almost grabbed something for a microphone just to represent Taft. So next week we'll see if if I decide to pretend like I'm singing it like Taft does. But welcome to Let's Talk About It. I am Winde Nochirione, one half of the Let's Talk About It co-host team. Taft is out. He is, I'm really proud of Taft. Taft is, he has an evening class. So for the next couple of weeks, I will be not on my own, because the next couple of weeks we'll have some interesting and some guest co-hosts and some other people that will come on and help me hold the fort down while Taft is in his class. He is taking an operations class at Walnut Hill College, and so he is he's in culinary. He's taking culinary arts and restaurant management. So this is one of the classes that he has to take, and I'm really excited. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that as well. Just to let you all know some things that are going on, because I had a chance to spend some time with Taft this weekend. And so I want to share that with you and just let you know what's going on and how things are going. So welcome. Today is February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. So I'm curious, what are your Valentine's plans? I want to hear and put them in the comments, and let me know if you're on and you're watching. Let me know where you're on and where you're watching from. We got a lot of things to talk about. A lot of things have happened, and we missed you last week, so I feel like I need to catch up from last week as well. While we're starting, let me say hello to Tina Washington Abubakar, my big sister in Buffalo, New York. Hey, Tina. And Randy Massey in Rock Hill, South Carolina, my mom. Hey, Mom. Thank you both for joining. Thank you for coming on and always supporting whatever I do. So thank you. I want to share really quick, and this is for Taft. So when he goes back, I want to share, but there was, Tina said, Galentine's Day for all gals and friends. Oh, is that what we're doing? We're making up a new holiday. We gonna Galentine's Day. Okay, I see what you did there. But I want to share a story with you. So there was this police chief, and he had some new detectives that he had hired, and they were going through the training process. And so he had a picture, and he was just sort of testing their skills. So he showed a picture of a person to the first detective and said, study it a little bit and then tell me if you would be able to pick the suspect out again and how. So the first guy looked at it and studied it, and he said, oh, that's easy. And he said, okay, well, tell me, how would you know it was him? And he said, because he only has one eye. And so the police chief was like, no, he has two eyes. He's, it's a side view. It's from the side. So that's why you only see one eye. So he was like, okay, just, all right, whatever. So he went to the second detective, and he said, study this picture and tell me, how would you be able to pick the suspect out? So the suspect looked at it and he said, no problem. I'd be able to get him. He said, okay, how would you pick him out? So the second detective said, well, he only has one ear. So now the chief is really upset. And he said, It's a side view. That's why you only see one eye and one ear. I assure you, it's a side view. That's all you see. So he goes to the third and he said, listen, study the picture, look at it. I want you to tell me how you would be able to pick out this suspect. And please do not tell me because he had one eye and one ear. So the third detective trainee looked at it and he looked at it and he said, that's easy. He wears contacts. So the chief looked at the picture and he said, how did you know that? And he said, wait a minute. And so he said, let me go to my office. So he goes to his office. He looks at the file of the gentleman. Sure enough, the gentleman in the picture did wear contacts. So he went back to him and he said, I'm just curious. You're right. He does wear contacts, but how could you possibly know that? He said, that's really easy because he only has one eye and one ear. So he has to wear contacts because he wouldn't be able to hold his glasses up. That was fantastic.
Good job, Miss Winde.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. Minister Chris, how are you?
I'm doing well, Miss Winde, and I must say these are some big shoes. What size are these shoes?
They're size 18.
18? Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I'll be able to fill them. I'll do my best. I put both feet in one, but I'll do my best.
That's right. We put powder in the other one. I have to admit, speaking of big shoes, I went to go see Taft this weekend. I got a chance to go to his dorm, hang out in his dorm room with them, meet his friends. And then he took me out to dinner. They have restaurants there at the school.
Yes, ma'am.
So you know how in Alice in Wonderland, I think Alice crawls down the rabbit hole or something, and is she like super tiny and everything is really big, or either she's super big and everything is really small?
Yes, ma'am.
So I was in Taft's dorm room, and I think I fell into like a rabbit hole because everything, like Taft's, no exaggeration, Taft's bed came up higher than where my belt would be. And I'm a tall woman.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
had to get a chair to get up on his bed. And when I was getting down, I just kind of slid until I felt my feet hit the floor.
That was especially made or crafted for him, or that's just the way it was?
Taft crafted. It was Taft crafted.
Oh, Taft crafted. You should probably market them. You could probably make a lot of money.
I'm sure, because he just lifted his leg and just got in the bed. And he was like, oh, it's easy, and just rolled right in. Wow. But even his desk, he already had a high desk.
Yes,
one of those, what is it, like the architect desks that are really high. And he's got the high chair that goes with it. But somehow he's managed to make it taller.
Sure.
So everything in Taft's room is for his height.
Sure.
And so his one of his friends, she looked like she might be 5'1". And so I was trying to, to talk to her over the edge of the bed. And poor thing, I said, wow, Taft. But he is doing very well, adjusting very well. The restaurant, we went to a French restaurant, one of those things where you kind of have to Google what you're eating first before you order it.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, but the restaurants are run by the students. The food is cooked by the students. Wow. And so they tell you when you first get there, that's under the instruction and direction, of a professor and a chef. But you only see the students. And so, they come by and offer you a mocktail. Would you like this? They've got, the whole uniform on and everything. It's very professional. And the food was good. We had mussels for appetizer. And then Taft ordered salmon. And I ordered some sort of beef, bone mignon or something. That wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't awful. It just probably wasn't a flavor that I was, accustomed to. But it was very nice environment, and it's open to the public. So people make reservations from around the city to come and have these, dishes that are, they've got a French restaurant, an Italian restaurant, a Heartland, which is American food, and then they've got a bakery as well. So you can just go to these restaurants and they make reservations. And we were really only able to get in because Taft is a student, and some of the students in the school, of course, they all know each other because it's a very small school. And so he says, oh, I can call in a favor. I can call in a favor. So it was very nice, but it was really good to go and just hang out, just hang out with him and spend some time. I took groceries.
Okay.
Yeah, I took groceries. So I think that's really what he was happiest about, because he was like, cereal, milk, bread. He was just excited.
All the comforts of home. Sure.
Yes. And I cooked a big pot of spaghetti, and I made chicken wings. And his friend that was helping carry it, she hinted and hinted and hinted. And Taft said, "Oh no, she's a vegan." And I said, "How are you in cooking school and you're a vegan?" She said, "Miss Winde, I am not a vegan." So, I hope so. Taft, when you watch this, share your food with your friends. But they're experiencing what college students experience.
Sure.
So it's a lot of ramen noodle eating, and but you're in cooking school, so you should be able to take those ramen noodles and make something totally different with it.
Sure.
Just make something different. Say that again.
I'm sure you and your family are so very proud, like we are, and I'm sure even Wesley, of the achievements of Taft. And I'm sure we haven't even seen anything yet. We're just seeing the tip of the iceberg of what's about to come, sure, out of his career in the culinary arts, and then some.
Yes.
I'm excited. Yes. I'm excited for you and excited for your family as well.
Thank you. Yes, we're absolutely so very proud. And this, as a parent, I know you guys have got a few more years before you get to this, but I think
we're not mad about it. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think as a parent, and and parents that are on here, let me know what you think. But I think we, in our minds, we have an idea of what we would like to see our children do, or where we used to go. And I've mentioned this before. When I was much younger, my parents, people always ask kids, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And my mom would always say different things. And, and I was like, "I want to be a garbage man." That was what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a garbage man. Sure. But it was for a reason, not just because I wanted garbage, but it seemed like all my favorite things, clothes that were too small, shoes that were torn up, toys that were broken, that they all got thrown away. So all my favorite things, like the best stuff,
yes, ma'am,
was in the garbage.
So go ahead.
Yeah, how lucky was the garbage man to get all of that stuff? Like, wow.
Sure.
And in my mind, like, the good stuff is out there in the garbage. I want to be a garbage man.
Well, that's good. Actually, we had to hire a junk man on that same note to come when we moved, because we recently moved back last September.
Yes.
Well, actually, he was over our new house, so
we're beautiful.
So we had to pay a junk company to come and remove a lot of the stuff that wasn't really junk, but we just didn't have the room to take it with us to our new place. But they were salvaging the stuff that we were paying them to haul out of our house. They were saying, "Are you throwing this out as well?" The lady was like, "I'm taking this, I'm taking that." And her and the boyfriend, her and the husband, not sure their relationship, they were fighting because he said that she always does that. Every time they go to haul junk away from a house, she's salvaging the junk that they should be disposing of. But I guess that's a part and the blessing of, working in that type of business.
Absolutely. It's a very lucrative business, I'm sure, because they got the best stuff. And I find myself having to throw things away that I really want. I see that. Let me say hello to Chris Camouflage Williams. Chris, I don't have Taft with me to salute you. We'll work with Minister Chris. We'll work with the choreography of it. And I want to say hello to William Washington, my baby brother in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Bill said, "Sing the song." That's the Garbage Man song, because I had a Garbage Man song. I won't sing it right now. But
why don't you do that? I'm interested in hearing a couple
we don't have Taft's microphone here. It's
I can beatbox though.
See, this is why you got to be careful, because as soon as Bill said sing the song, Tina said, "You even made up a song. What you going to get from the Garbage Man?" I was serious about, like, and my mom would say, "Well, why don't you say like doctor, or why don't you say like lawyer, or like," they were like, "You could say policeman, like you could say anything." And I was like, "No, I want to be a garbage man." So, and Taft was very much the same way. We don't do Halloween, but they did like a fall harvest, and the kids could dress up And a friend of mine was a doctor. And so I was like, Taft is going to win this contest. So I got all of her doctor's things. Like he had a real, stethoscope in the bag and everything in the jacket. And Taft used to say that he wanted to be an astronaut. So the news was there. And so they were getting all the people and they were like, oh, here's someone. And they go, hi, what's your name? So he tells his name. He was like maybe 5. And so they said, so what are you? And Taft, he had broken glasses with the tape on. And he was like, well, actually, I'm an astronaut, but my mother made me wear this doctor's stuff. So to the parents out there, we have an idea of what we think our children should do. But I'm really, really proud of Taft because this is definitely his choice. Absolutely his choice. And so, and that choice and the things that he does, you all are a part of that. Like you mentioned, like yourself being proud of him, Wesley being proud of him, our family and things like that, the people that pour into him, and give him opportunities, even like this. This was actually born out of you giving Taft and myself an opportunity to do something that we enjoy, that we enjoy doing. So,
and Mr. Ron Chappell, I think he
yes. So Ron Chappell, when we first moved here, you guys were over on Dairy Street.
Yes, ma'am. With that climb, at the time, like 4 flights.
Yeah, yes. I was like, oh, I don't know if I come back for this one, but absolutely, Ron Chappell had both of us on, and then another time he gave Taft an opportunity to guest host for him. To host his show. So absolutely, I'm so appreciative of the things that have just come out of Harrisburg, being here and then people, the churches, Allen Temple in Greenville, South Carolina, and Durham Memorial AME Zion in Buffalo, and St. Martin de Porres in Buffalo. So all of these places, everywhere we've gone, they've poured into him. So he's definitely a blessed young man. So I too am looking forward to what is, to what's to come. He's a character though. He's a character.
And along that lines, as you talk about, watching our children, find those things that they're good at, and start to excel and achieve in those things. Our daughter, she's 8 now. We're wondering how we could funnel the additional energy. She has like a energy source that we wish we had at our age, because we could actually get done everything we need to get done on a daily basis. But someone offered initially to pay for ballet classes for her. And I thought that was probably one of the worst ideas, but now she absolutely loves it. She loves coming home and show the moves that she had to do. And then my wife entertains me with the videos for hours and hours and hours on end when she gets home as well. But it's awesome to actually see something she really enjoys, that she's good at, that she's starting to, take to, and actually, be able to express herself and spend some of that extra energy. So I'm a proud parent as well.
Absolutely. And she's such a sweetheart. And because of you can see your spirit in her, the love that she has. And even at your party, she was the perfect little hostess, for the Christmas party. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
She's picked up the joy of, connecting with others on the internet in a structured environment.
Of course.
Young people her age. But now she's attached to, devices as some of us. We rarely get to see her. I know 80% of the parties she was up in her schoolroom, which is a playroom, but it's not the schoolroom, just interacting with other kids her age. And I'm sure, kids miss that kind of interaction.
Oh, they do. They do. But I think ballet and any type of structured thing like that, I think even if she doesn't end up being a ballerina or a gymnast or anything like that, I think just the structured environment, the learning, the commitment to it, the discipline of it, we struggled with sports. We never really did sports. It was really difficult to find that thing that Taft would stick with.
Yes,
tried soccer, we tried, you name it, we tried it, even karate, that didn't go well either. But he was always an avid reader, and he always loved music. And so he ended up in the marching band and playing instruments through school. So he's done the flute, the violin, and the saxophone, the bass and the soprano saxophone.
One of the drums with the big boom. I can see him like with that big
Right.
round finger. Boom, 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 boom. No, he didn't really like that.
No, he wanted to do the drums, but I think once he realized he had to walk and carry that thing, Taft was like, nope.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Taft was like, nope, just give me this and I'm good, which looks about like this in his hand.
Sure,
Yeah, his
Move,
fingers
Taft.
are just really close together on it.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
but he's music, and he's taught himself the keyboard and the trumpet and guitar. So, music is his thing. And I guess I could say it runs in the family. My brother played the tuba in
Okay.
high school, but
That's a pretty heavy instrument too, because it's pretty big, isn't it?
yeah, Bill is tall, and then he was tall and thin. And so he would have that thing, and then he has asthma, which is probably a HIPAA violation, but he would be like, and then he'd be rocking with it, trying to walk with it. And my mother would be running along the parade like, Bill, 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 Bill.
That was wise. Good job, Mom. Sure, sure, sure. One more thing about before you change the subject about, my daughter in the dance class. One thing I really found amazing and interesting is that the dance instructor looks just like us.
Okay.
And I mean,
Amen.
when I think about ballet, the first
Yeah.
thing that comes to mind isn't us, and that's just me.
Right.
That's,
Right.
I'm painting a
Yeah.
broad brush on that one.
Yes.
But I was amazed when my wife would show me the videos that the instructor actually looks just like us and dresses a lot like us too on our days off. So
Good. I don't remember her name, but there's a lady, she's an African American ballerina that got the top honors in ballerina or something. And then of course there's the Alvin Ailey dance group, which is a black ballet group out of New York, of course, and out of Juilliard, I want to say, in New York City. But it is very rare that you see African American ballerinas. But I think it's wonderful because now on like Facebook and TikTok, they show them, and you know how they like walk on the tips of their toes.
my daughter loves that. She does that
Yeah.
not dancing, sure.
Yeah, so there's videos of an all black ballet group, and they're doing that, but they're doing that to music that's a little more us, a little more us, and sort of like an Afrobeat kind of thing. And
Sure.
they're doing it, and they're up on their toes, and they're going by. If I find it, I'll send it to you because she would love that.
I'm sure she would.
Well, I can't wait to hear about the recitals. Get ready. She's 8, so you've got some time.
I look forward to it. I just hope my clients grant me the liberty, as a proud father, to be able to, do that. Hopefully, it'll be on the weekend when I'm not so inundated with work, because normally I'm here 10, 12 hours, and
I
I
know.
hate to be the type of father that isn't present. And you're looking for your dad to show up or mom to show up, and no one shows up, and you keep looking, hoping they're going to come at the last. I don't want to be that type of parent.
Yeah.
So. Preferably it'll be on the weekends, or some of my clients will give me liberty to say, hey,
absolutely.
Next Thursday, do you mind if I, somehow make it up? Can we pre-record or do something?
Absolutely.
My daughter's having a recital and I really feel pressed to be there.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you from each of the different clients and the people that were at the Christmas party, because that we were there, people that have shows and people that have ministries that come on The Voice. I could not imagine, because it was so family oriented, sitting and talking about the different things and sharing stories and things like that. And I would imagine that we would all be like, well, let us know how it was and share it with us. So
take you with us, maybe.
Yes. And then when they get you up there to do the daddy-daughter dance, I can't wait to hear about that. And then we'll see how quick you'll be like, I can beatbox.
I used to dance, but it had nothing to do with ballet. But that's
I'm sure that's a whole nother thing. I'm sure. So I want to talk about, I know you said that you didn't see the Super Bowl. But before I get to the Super Bowl, can we do one of the Family Feud?
Sure.
Let's do one of the Family Feud.
All right up.
And so name an animal that moves its tail a lot. So if you're on, name an animal that moves its tail a lot, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top 5 answers top 5 answers on the board. If you get it right, you get a blue, and if you get it wrong, you get a buzzer. And oh my goodness. See, this is why. So Tina says, my sister says, I wish I could share the picture of Amanda Panda, 5-year-old Wendy's ballet recital. See, I never even said it. Right.
You doing ballet?
Yes.
Please send it. Please send it. Send it out. 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 I love this. So you didn't continue with it. You tried it out and it wasn't for you, or you tried it for a season and then switched to something else, or
yeah, well, we could say that. I just I was a dancer, but ballet probably was not, the thing when you're that age, and probably then they called it chubby. So, it just didn't really work for me. That wasn't my thing.
So they called the dance chubby, or you
No,
chubby?
they called me chubby. So I didn't really.
That ain't right now. Kids are cruel.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. That's what it was. So I probably didn't. And then, them having me in that Amanda Panda ballet thing wasn't cute either. That just wasn't fair. My mother should have never allowed that. Never allowed that. So I want to say hello to Nan Swanson and Tina. Do not let that picture surface.
Yes, please, man. We got to show it at the end. Inbox it to me. cthomas2k@hotmail.com. Oh, go ahead.
All right, so we got the top 5 answers on the board. I saw my mom said rabbit. Sorry, Mom. Rabbit is not on there. Next, I see dog. Nan Swanson with dog. Nan Swanson, that is correct. Dog was the number 1 answer. Dog was the number 1 answer. So again, the question, name an animal that moves its tail a lot. Mom, do rabbits move their tail a lot?
If you can see it.
Oh, I was going to say, but that's not what gets cut off. That's their foot that gets cut off, isn't it?
Oh, okay. But Peter Cottontail hopping down the bunny trail, I'm sure his tail had to move while he was hopping down the bunny trail.
Okay, let me write this down. You're doing a really good job of being Taft. You're doing a really, really good job. I'm almost worried because now, see, with Taft, I could say, Minister Chris, cut that part out. Now, who are we going to get to edit? Who are we going to get to edit your stuff? Uh-oh.
Dr. Miller.
Yeah. I'm really worried. I'm really, really worried. So while you're putting your answers up there, so the Super Bowl, I know you said that you didn't see it. So
my life was impacted by it, though. I'll tell you that story after you get.
Okay. So, well, the Super Bowl, so I was reading a couple of things about it, and there were people that were upset because it didn't start on time. Now, I'm not saying this, I don't agree with this, but of course, people started to put that together with the fact that it was the first time in history that there were 2 African-American quarterbacks of it not being on time. So I'm just saying that,
Was that the reason why, or that was speculation?
That was just people being
oh, come on. You can't start the Super Bowl late because of 2 quarterbacks that look like us. I hope that was the case, Ms. Winde.
No, that was not the case. So they're saying that they're blaming it on Chris Stapleton, which is a good thing. But starting off, Shirley Ralph did Lift Every Voice and Sing. And she had backup singers, and they were marching, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I stood up in my living room here. I stood up. It was beautiful. Then Babyface. Now, just because your name is Babyface, is it Kenneth Edmonds? Is that his name?
Is he still got a baby face now?
Well, he didn't have any gray.
Okay.
And I'm like, but it was, thinning a little bit. And I'm like, just because your name is Babyface doesn't mean that you have to still try to keep a baby face. Like, we know you.
Well, I mean, that goes with being baby face. I don't think you can be a baby face with a grown man face. That doesn't really go to
with like a gray beard, like
I'm baby face. Like, you ain't baby face, you're old. So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, Babyface, but he did America the Beautiful.
Okay.
And he played his guitar. It was a American flag guitar kind of thing. And it was really nice. It was really, really nice. And then Chris Stapleton, who one of his songs, my favorite of his songs is Tennessee Whiskey. He's got that country kind of raspy, but it's got a little bit of soul, like a little bit of rock and roll, a little bit country, to it. And I really like Chris Stapleton. But he did the Star Spangled Banner, and he did a great job. Okay. However, it was only as good as the song can be. So if it's not a good song, you know what I'm saying? If it's not a good song, it's really hard for me to be like, wow, that was amazing.
Sure.
And so then they showed the different players, and some of them were, by the time he was done, I think that we had just been taken on an emotional roller coaster. So a lot of the players were crying, I don't mean just one tear, I mean just crying. And so they were showing how moved the players were.
Sure.
Now before that, Damar Hamlin, the player from the Buffalo Bills that went into cardiac arrest on the field maybe about a month or so ago, he went into cardiac arrest. He came and he spoke, and then they had all of the first responders from Ohio that were there, and all of the NFL first responders that came out. And when he went down on the field, they actually had to do CPR on him right there on the field.
Wow.
So, and it was amazing, but he spoke at, I think it was the Hall of Fame last week. Yes. And so proud. I love to see a young man that looks like us speak intelligently.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness. To speak intelligently. And then on top of speaking intelligently, he, at the Hall of Fame, in his speech, he said, I knew that God had a purpose for my life. And I knew that I had to do whatever it was. And he said, but now I'm even more convinced. And I know I've got to work harder, and I've got a long way to go. And wow. I mean, this is at the NFL Hall of Fame. He had all of the medical professionals behind him. Wow. And just to see a young man speak so well, share his faith, you know what I mean? Just share his faith openly. And I still say that the best thing that came out of that was that for that one moment, for that one time, that the world was on one accord. People weren't worried about which team. People weren't worried about what faith and who prayed or how you prayed. Every player went down on his knee. You could see people, and they were showing as he was on the ground. You could see players walking around, talking and praying. You knew they were praying. And I mean, like having a conversation like this, you know what I'm saying? And so I just, something amazing came from that, and the fact that he's telling it and he's recounting it the way he did. So that was the beginning. And so this is why it was late. They had Damar Hamlin. Then they had the Heisman. No, it wasn't the Heisman Trophy. Oh, what's the name of, now I feel like Taft really is here because neither one of us probably know this. So whatever the name of the trophy is that they get at the Super Bowl, I know it's not the Heisman Trophy, but it's the whatever. So somebody tell us what the name of that trophy is. Can someone help us out, please? But
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, they had that, and so they had some of the all-stars, like older players do that. And I don't know, Lombardi. Vince Lombardi, right? Yeah, Bill said Lombardi. But the one guy he was one of the Hall of Famers from the Kansas City Chiefs, he was like, yeah. But then the Hall of Famer from Philadelphia actually did the Eagles thing and then did the claw. And it was an older gentleman. It was really cool. It was really cool. So that's why it was 45 minutes late. Now, what were you going to say, Minister Chris?
I'm going to see if I can find it. Then I can describe it a little.
Okay.
The man's name who got hurt on the field real quick?
Damar Hamlin.
Damar. Did you hear the controversy? Is it Hamilton?
Hamlin, Hamlin. Hamlin,
jacket. The coat that he wore, I heard there was a lot of controversy over it, and I wanted to pull this up because I wanted to be able to see this.
Okay, while you're pulling that up, Tina said, I was moved to proud tears by all of the songs. I was thinking, so for the Star Spangled Banner, and of course, I've talked about this before. So again, this is my personal opinion, does not reflect the opinion of the establishment or of management. But I don't stand for it because we never sing the second verse, but we're singing a song without telling the whole story. And so the second verse says that there was no refuge for the hireling or slave. So basically, they're saying in the song that, and then it says, but the Star Spangled Banner still waves. So they knew when they put the slaves out there, they knew when they knew what was happening. Yes, so you've got this song that says that. Wow. So I was thinking that, and I'm sure they're watching right now, but I was thinking that since people in government are so bent on going back and changing things that were etched in stone before, maybe they could change the Star Spangled Banner, keep the same song, but maybe change the words so that includes everybody.
That's good. That's good.
Then it could be a beautiful song because it's a beautiful song.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But the words aren't right. And why? I asked this question. Why do we only sing verse 1 of a national anthem that has 4 verses? Wow. If you listen to the Canadian national anthem, and because we lived in Buffalo at midnight every night before the station went off, for the young people, see, back in the day, the TVs would go off at a certain time, and then it would just
the flag. You hear the
yeah. So before it would go off in Buffalo, they would play "Oh Canada." That is the longest song ever, and I believe the only words in the song are "Oh Canada." Like, I just think it just goes on and on and on because it would last forever. So I think we could do something like that.
Well, that's good. That is actually a wonderful idea. I wonder who do we talk to revamp something like that, like Puff Daddy or
Jay-Z. I think would be the one.
Okay.
I think we have a better chance, but they're not going to talk to Jay-Z with his hair like that. They're not going to take him serious.
Probably not. That was a very interesting point of conversation as well. I found the jacket of the.
Okay, let's see.
Now. And this is what I heard about, and I still want to tell you about how the Super Bowl impacted my day. Yes,
absolutely.
So, jacket, the young man that the world prayed for at the Super Bowl, which raised a lot of controversy. And someone said it was made. No, it's supposed to be Jesus on the cross. If I can minimize it here a little bit. Yeah, this is supposed to be actually Jesus Christ on the cross. Did you see the hands pierced?
I do, but then I don't understand the head.
That's it raised a lot of controversy for the world to pray for a gentleman and for the gentleman to come through and then to wear a jacket like that raised a lot of eyebrows. And I'll just leave that at that.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see it up close like that, but yeah, I don't take back, my thoughts and feelings, but I probably would have gone with, and again, these are all things, to all people. So, your interpretation, but, my first thought when I saw it was like, did he put SpongeBob on there?
Is that SpongeBob or is that the face of, let's take one more quick look at it because I believe that's the same face that is on Jesus on the back. So I don't think.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because you look at it has the green crown of thorns, which is marijuana leaves, and then you spin it around. You see you got the eye, one red, one blue.
Right.
Spin it around. Okay, well it's not the same picture.
I think that's what I don't understand.
But you see the crown of thorns on there still.
Yeah. I'd be curious to know. Okay.
Interesting. Things that make you go home.
Tina said SpongeBob was on the front. See, that's the guy,
Sure. Artist interpretation, but the crown of thorns, it's hard to mistake that.
Yes. Yeah, you can't. That's interesting. I'll keep my eyes open on that one.
Sure. I just threw that out there. Not to,
yes. No, that was good. I want to, that was good. I'll keep a lookout and see what people are thinking about that. So tell me, how did the Super Bowl impact your life?
Oh, okay. So we weren't thinking about the Super Bowl, but we were thinking about what we're going to eat for dinner. So actually, yes.
Okay, okay.
I said, well, why don't you take the car, take my car, and go, because we had lunch meat, but we didn't have cheese or bread. So she had to run to the grocery store to go get lunch meat. I mean, go get cheese and bread for the lunch meat we had at the house and some chips to accompany that. And I wonder why it took her 2.5 hours at the grocery store. Till
Wow.
she told me everyone was pre-ordering for, that was actually the day before. They were pre-ordering for the Super Bowl, and
Yes.
the deli was so backed up with orders, it took almost an hour and some change to get through the deli to get your number called.
Oh my
So
goodness.
we were impacted by the Super Bowl because it took my wife almost 2 hours plus to get home for just going to the store to get some cheese and bread to go with
Wow.
lunch meat for supper. She said people were ordering. They said the bills were like $200 for wings, and they were ordering them real long subs and all the party favors that go with
Mhm.
it. She said she was just watching the cash register, $200, $175,
Right.
$92. That the bills were so high, people were spending a astronomical amount of money, to feed folk on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes. Yeah. We had the church, we had a grab and go lunch uh
Okay.
yesterday after church. It was a rep your team
I
Sunday.
wondered. I saw a lady come out the church with a crock pot. I was like, no one told me food was going on, but it was a grab and go, so that's why
It was,
they grabbed
yeah,
it.
grab and go. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, now that makes sense. I was wondering why she was taking the crock pot and backed up to the back door, to get the crock pot out because they grabbed it and left, and everyone was trying
Yeah,
to watch the
yeah.
game.
They had bags already. And Sister Marie, she's organizer. So the bags were ready, the soup and a sandwich or a salad, a cookie and a water, and you were out the door. They took
How
a
do you get
picture
soup
of
to
you, and that was it. Mhm.
How do you get soup to go? Is that in styrofoam
No,
containers?
yeah, they had the little small containers. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
they
they have
they
little lids.
had with the lid on it. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
They had it. They had it. So,
You go first.
well, I guess the game did impact you. I went to the grocery store earlier yesterday. I had a sort of Super Bowl party for my staff and the individuals we support. So I was just getting things, but it was crowded then too. And so I pre-ordered the pizzas, and things like that. So I'm
You
pretty
got a big
sure it
Super
was.
Bowl party at the house, or?
No, no, I just took it to the staff for the
Oh,
individuals, the individuals that we support, so that they could have a Super Bowl party, and they were excited as they were watching the game. They all went. One person had it at his apartment, and they all went there and had pizza and chips and soda and watched the game. And I don't know if they really watched the game or what they did, but they were glad to have pizza and chips and soda.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
So it was a party for them.
Understood. Now, can I just throw a quick question out there?
Sure.
What do you think about closing church altogether or closing church early for Super Bowl Sunday? You agree or disagree?
I disagree. I
Okay.
disagree. And I disagree because one, we're talking about salvation.
Yes, ma'am.
You're talking about a game. You can record the game and rewatch it later, but you can't record your salvation and get it later. You know.
I wonder what our viewers think about that, or your
Yeah.
viewers.
Yeah. Anybody, what do you think about closing church early or closing church for Super Bowl Sunday? Um, and that's interesting because I think that there are churches, and I've
Mhm.
heard of a church that maybe over celebrated,
Yes, ma'am.
and people felt like celebration wasn't good, and church isn't a place to do it. But I do, and one of the things I like that Reverend Miller does is he recognizes that people have their team.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so he'll say, "Oh, if you want to see the Eagles win, say yeah. You want to see this team win, say yeah." And then he says, "And if you know that Jesus wins all the time," so he puts it into perspective. And so I think that that's really important.
That's good.
Um, Nan Swanson said, "No, never." So no, never to closing the church early, anything like that. I think that we are the church.
Yes, ma'am.
We are the church. And I do think, though, that we have to be realistic with where we are. And you know how they say you have to meet people where they are.
Yes, ma'am. Understood. Understood.
You know, so we can't act like people weren't going to watch the football game.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
and that's probably not the Sunday that you want to have an afternoon program.
No, no, no. And I think you probably could use it evangelistically as
Yeah,
far as, if you did close early, you have something in the basement, but then during halftime, instead of playing some of the things that went on during halftime, that's a whole other conversation in
yeah,
itself. But have like a message, or
sure,
share something gospel related, using it evangelistically.
sure,
Have a
sure.
crowd, so instead of the crowd hurrying up to rush to leave to go home, have them rush to stay, but to go down to watch the game, but
Yeah.
somehow intersperse and interject the gospel in between.
Okay, yeah. Royal Narayan Shah said, watching together any game builds community stronger. So that's kind of what you were saying. And I do think that for some people, maybe a safe place to watch the game would be good. And sometimes in church. So that means that you don't go to some of the other places that you may be tempted to go to watch the game. So maybe something like that would, be helpful.
I did see something kind of controversial, and I would recommend that. They took the same idea we were just talking about that your viewer commented on, but they had a keg of beer in the church basement. So, uh,
Bishop Moore would be here the next week.
yeah, free keg of beer in the basement with the
Yeah, we probably would have we'll pass on that one. Yeah.
Understood. Did we get all the answers for the Family Feud, or?
No, we did not. We did not. So name an animal that moves its tail a lot. We've so far only had dog. We've only had
alligator?
so far.
How about alligator?
Alligator. No. Didn't you guys try to use alligator as an answer for something before? I just want to say that we probably will not ask a question where alligator will be one of the answers. How about that? No alligator. Roel said God is everywhere. Tina said Catholic Church, no doubt. So Tina, you're saying the keg would be at the Catholic Church?
And cigars. Sure, keg and cigars. Sure. Anyway, that's all. Each his own. Each his own.
I've been there for one of those.
Sure. Oh, hey. Well, anyway.
So the can of beer is okay in the church too? Depends on, like Minister Chris said, each his own. I guess it really depends on the denomination and what you believe. My mom said, Randy Massey said a cat. That is correct. Cat is the number 2 answer. Tina said yes. Beer would be there. Nan Swanson said it didn't start till 6 p.m. Plenty of time for church. I agree. It actually started at 6:45. Yeah. But I think the reason that people don't want things to last is because they go and start getting prepared. I mean, people treated it like a holiday.
Sure.
They treated it like a holiday. And so I felt like I should have had today off. And I was just here by myself. Tina Washington said, when I attended the Catholic Church, there was always alcohol. I'm just saying. And it wasn't only for communion. No judgment, though. I attended a Catholic church for probably 12 years. And so there were always opportunities and events to do different things. And so no judgment, to each his own, I do want to talk about, because Tina and I had this conversation earlier, the halftime. So it was Rihanna, and I have to be honest. So let me just put this out here. I guess I'm not a Rihanna fan, and I probably only know 2 songs by Rihanna. So I'm already not a Rihanna fan. But different things. So what did you all think of the halftime? And while you're answering that, here's something I didn't know, that the artists that do the halftime, they do not get paid for doing the halftime. they get the NFL takes care of the production and anyone else, like I guess all of those dancers that she had. I want to say she had probably half of her city in is she from Jamaica or Trinidad or wherever she's from? I mean, she had, to me, way too many dancers. Yes. And so but she also shared her baby bump, which I thought was interesting because a lot of people thought that was still baby fat from the baby she just had in November.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that, like, the Facebook went wild because I'm on and I'm watching and I'm looking at social media and things, and everybody, I bet if Google were to put a number or put, like a data on how many people Googled, is Rihanna pregnant?
Sure.
I Googled it. I was like, is Rihanna pregnant? Like, so that was the big thing. So thank goodness she didn't come out half clad, because the whole pregnancy of the last pregnancy, all of her pictures, she just had her belly out. Tina said, so let me go back. Roel said, I said so because God is everywhere, so drinking is okay anywhere. Okay, I wouldn't argue with that. And then she said, Roel said, I think Rihanna was phenomenal. She had the baby in May. The baby is 9 months old now. Oh, okay. I thought she had it in November. So I'm clearly not a Rihanna fan, but she had the baby in May. So, okay. Well, she's definitely, I mean, she was beautiful. She was beautiful. She sang, I think it was a 30-minute, I want to say like a 30-minute concert or something. And she had her dancers, and the internet went wild. And the other thing that she did was during halftime, I guess she had someone push the button. She launched a new lipstick. And so during her show, she walked by, someone handed her makeup, and she basically was doing her own commercial of her makeup brand. So she did that. And when she did that, they pushed the button and her new lipstick dropped. And that little segment went viral, before the game was over. So Nan said, she is a billionaire. They say she doesn't need money. I mean, I guess when you look at the people who have done the halftime show, I think we could probably say the same thing about all of them, but I think the reason that they're billionaires is probably because they never say that they don't need money. So they find some kind of way to make it profitable, from Prince, Bruce Springsteen, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Janet Jackson, Snoop, Dre, Mary J, and 50 Cent all did last year together. Tina Washington says she's the second richest Black woman after Oprah. That's interesting. How old is Rihanna to be the second richest Black woman after Oprah? I don't even think they can even count Oprah's money anymore. Let's see. How old is Rihanna? So Rihanna is 34 years old.
That's it?
Yeah. You think she was older?
Well, I don't think she was that much younger than us, but I guess obviously she is.
Yes, she.
Because a lot of her music came out when we were still,
Yeah.
when I was still listening to music like that, which has been over 10 years or so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, when she did the song with Jay-Z, the New York song.
Yes,
no, that wasn't her. Sorry, that was
that was Alicia, wasn't it?
That was Alicia Keys. She did a song with Jay-Z though, didn't she?
That wasn't that Diamond, was it? I'm not. Don't give me the fib. Our listeners may know, your viewers may know a little bit better than we do.
Yeah. So someone, Roel, I'm pretty sure will be able to tell us, because she says, I'm a Rihanna fan, and she put a lot of hard work coming back after 4 years on a stage. Like, this is courageous. I agree. And now she did, coming out of from the top, the risers, the platforms, and coming down and being pregnant and being on those, I thought was very courageous. I think it was okay. But again, as I started, I'm not really a Rihanna fan. And so I probably would have liked combination. I would have, I would have liked a little bit of Rihanna, maybe a little bit of something else. But the something else probably would have been heavy metal, and I would have been like, I don't like that either. So I think it was good. But other people were like, that was a showstopper. She took the show. And I thought it was good. I thought it was good. Just good.
Sure, go ahead.
No, go ahead, say that again.
I said I'll leave that at that. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting, yes. And so I don't know, is she married to this guy, A$AP Rocky, which is, I guess, the father. This is interesting. Beyonce is 41 years old.
Okay.
Oh, so wait a minute. So, Rihanna was with Chris Brown and he's 33 years old. So maybe that's why we thought she was younger, because I was going to say, never mind. My math is not working very well tonight. So all of these people are really young. Jay-Z is 53. That's good to know. Don't know what we'll do with that, but that's good to know. So Royale said his boyfriend, not her husband. So yeah, cool. Very interesting. Very interesting. So that was the Super Bowl. Now, to be honest, I fell asleep. I fell asleep. I should admit that. I fell asleep. And partly because I don't like a game like they score. I was like, it's like watching a tennis match. But I guess I went to sleep when the biggest part happened, which was people were complaining that the referee made a bad call, which caused Philadelphia to lose the game. And I don't know that that's what caused Philadelphia to lose the game. I think what caused Philadelphia to lose the game is the fact that Kansas City had more points than they did at the end of the game.
That normally, constitutes who the winner is.
I don't know this for fact, but I'm thinking that that's what caused them to lose the game. But I spoke with my nephew, Aziz, who gave me the rundown. And so basically, the referee called and said that the Eagles player was holding. So that meant that Kansas City kept the ball, and people felt like it was a bad call because it wasted the time, and they lost about 2 minutes, which meant that once Kansas City kicked the field goal and got those points, that Philadelphia wasn't able to get the ball back. So anybody that has anything about that, but so Philadelphia was very upset and felt like the game was fixed, and then people wanted to say that it was scripted. I don't know if you can script a football game. I don't know if you can do that.
I don't think you can script wrestling, but I found out differently. Anyway.
Yes, you can script wrestling, but a football game, like how many players are on the field? I think 12 or 15 or something, maybe 10. And I just don't think you can do that. So I don't know.
But if it can be betted on, I'm sure it can be manipulated somehow.
True.
It's like boxing matches, people throw the match because, the Italian guy says if you don't throw the match, it's going to be curtains for you. If it can be betted on, it can be manipulated somehow.
Well, people are saying that that's what happened. And they're also saying that they want them to go back and overturn the call. So, I mean, what are you saying? That they would replay the game? Like, now, the thing that happened with Damar Hamlin shows that they can cancel a game. They cannot have a game. So they can break some of their own rules. They've shown that. So now I think people are kind of using that, which one was the life situation, and this was just a bad call. And so I don't know. Tina says, I thought it was exceptional and proves that a woman can have a career and be top in the competitive music, fashion, beauty industry and still be true to her life ambition as a mother. Okay. So you thought it was exceptional. My mother said, yes, replay. Mom, do you mean replay the whole Super Bowl? Or because you can't, like, you can't go back and you can't make people be like, because then I feel like it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. And Patrick Mahomes, I think it's Mahomes, he got hurt. He was already hurt. And then that was the other thing. People were complaining, it just, the team that lost, those fans will always complain that it wasn't fair. Something was right. The team that won will be like, nope, everything was just right. So.
Like the election, or?
I'm sorry?
Is that like the election, or?
Yeah, right. Just like the election. Anytime I hear about that, I think someone posted, like, during that election time that like Donald Trump had been elected the 63rd president of the United States because he kept winning each time. Mom said, Roel agreed with Tina. Mom said, yes, replay the game. See, Mom, that's out of you wanting to be fair to everybody. That's sort of one of those split the baby kind of decisions. And my mom doesn't like to watch it because she hates to see someone lose. Someone has to lose. And
Sure.
So this time it was Philadelphia. Nan Swanson says, seemed to me that Philly players were not playing as hard as the beginning. I don't remember who it was, but there was like a touchdown, one of the first touchdowns, and I think it was Philly, and they reversed it because his elbow touched the ground. I mean, he was like this far from it being a touchdown, and they reversed it. So there were calls that they went back and reversed.
Wow.
Tina says, if we're going to replay games because of bad calls, then just give the Bills their Super Bowl victory. Laugh out loud. Yeah, Tina. Yeah, okay. Laugh out loud. And I wore my Bills stuff, my Bills sweatshirt and baseball cap to church yesterday. So I represent it. So we've run out of time. I did not get all the answers. So while I share this with you, anybody else name an animal that moves its tail a lot? So far, we've had dog and cat. We're missing three more. Is the top?
Fish.
Say it again.
Fish.
Fish.
Fish gotta be on there. It's gotta be on there.
No, fish is not on there.
This game is rigged like the game. Fish can't move without wagging her tail.
I don't think they wag their tail, but I think they're swimming. My mom said rat. You know what? I can't. No rat, Mom. No rat. Come on, you guys, an animal that moves its tail a lot. So I want to say this, that the report says that Super Bowl draws near record 113 million viewers. Says the 113 million total audience tops the 112 million Americans who watched last year, but falls short of 2015's record audience of 114 million. Rihanna's halftime show averaged 118.7 million viewers per Fox, a 15% from the 103 average audience for the 2022 halftime show featuring Dr. Dre. So she pulled in the numbers. Nan says horse. Yes, Nan. Horse is on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Horse is number 5. So in the interest of time, number 3 was monkey. Number 4 was cow.
It's on there. It's on there.
And so, listen, Mr. Chris, thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do. To all of you that joined in, thank you. I look forward to seeing you all same place, same time next week, Mondays from 6 to 7 on The Voice 17104. Look out for the big things that's happening with The Voice and The Voice TV. And from time to time throughout the week, stop in and see the different ministries, different shows and conversations that are had right here on The Voice 17104. On Sunday, Sunday, February 19th at the State Museum here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The Writers' Workshop will be having our Black History Month celebration with the Dwinneman dancers. We'll have poetry, we'll have vendors. Yours truly will be there. I'll be doing spoken word storytelling as well as vending, and the event is free from 1 to 4 p.m. on Sunday at the State Museum of Pennsylvania on 3rd and Forester, and on Saturday, February 25th, Wesley Union AME Zion Church will be having our Black History Month program there at Wesley Union on the corner of 5th and Camp. We are the church that is making an impact in the city. It's Black History Month, and though we are Black 365 days a year, remember, as my pastor says, Black History Month, it's not so much for us, but it's for those of you who don't know. So take some time and learn a little bit about us, learn a little bit about the Black history and about the things, the contributions that we've made to this country and to this world. Take time to be kind to one another, reach out to one another, and take care of each other and take care of yourselves. Taft, we're looking for you to come back, but Minister Chris did a fine job of standing in for you. So be careful, but make sure you're doing what you need to do. Thanks, guys. We will see you next week.